Well, friends, welcome to today's session. Now I invite Dr. Chinmay Shah to speak the biodata of today's speaker, Dr. Himanshu Pandya. He will be speaking on being an academic leader in Indian medical colleges, my perspective. Over to you.
Yes, good evening, friends. As you all know, that MU India has started Rita Sud Oration, in which we give lifetime achievement awards to the heroes who have played a pivotal role in changing medical education. And if we see in last 20 years and specifically in last 5 years, there are multiple change happened in medical education. And when we want to implement this medical education at our own institutions, in our area of institution, we need to be an leader. And this leader is a specifically academic leader. So today we have a session by Dr. Himanshu Pandya sir. Sir is a Dean, Professor of Medicine and Medical Education at PSMC Karamsad, and going to guide us in a specific topic, being an academic leader in Indian medical colleges, my perspective. If I start narrating the achievement of Sir in detail, it will take around 1 hour or so. So I have tried to divide it into three. The first is Sir's role in medical education. There is a former convener. I request all the participants to please mute your mic.
Chinmay, you also unmute, yes.
Yeah, okay. So if we divide Sir's achievement in three parts, the first is role in medical education. Sir is a former convener of NMC Nodal Center between 2010 to 16, former member expert group MCI National Faculty Development Program from 2011 to 2016, resource faculty at JSMC Femur Regional Institute since 2015, resource faculty at Mahe Femur International Institute for Leadership in Interprofessional Education since 2018, resource faculty at NCHP and Sirami Conference since 2012. Further, if you look at the achievement, Sir is presented at national and international conference and workshop in more than 300 places, and it shows the volume of work done by Dr. Himanshu Pandya sir. Sir has organized national consultations and conference, approximately 3 in number, and organized workshop under National Faculty Development Program as in convener, which are more than 100. And sir has also done an observation of workshops under MCI National Faculty Development Program, which is more than 21. Looking at the publications, sir has a publication in peer-reviewed national and international journal around 11, abstracts in conference proceedings of national and international conference, and sir is a past president of AHPE 2018, and sir is a member of executive committee Sirami since 2018. So, in short, this is I can say very small gist of what sir is here in medical education, and in last 20 years sir has done tremendous job in medical education. So without wasting much time, I invite Himanshu Pandya sir to take us through the journey and please guide us on how to become an academic leader, because which is a much needed job right now. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Chinmay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so is my screen visible to all now?
Yes, sir, but please do the slideshow mode.
Okay, okay. Are we there?
Not yet, sir.
Chinmay, you can stop sharing.
I already stopped, sir.
Achha.
Do I need to again? Because
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please unshare and share a whole screen, not a PPT.
Okay.
Or press at the right bottom for full screen.
Is it visible now?
No, not yet. Not yet, sir. Yes.
Share and then again share.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And now when you are sharing, share whole screen.
share. This one. No. Am I visible now? My slide.
Actually, sir, we are able to see both the slide.
So you want me to show only the.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Himanshu, put off the presenter mode.
Okay.
Now make it full screen.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Resume slide. So yes, it was.
Click on that. Sir. Resume slides. Background it is showing. Then. Wait. But we don't need this view.
Yes, yes. Click
Yeah.
on that. Hide presenter.
Take
view.
it off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
perfect, sir.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this Oration and Lifetime Achievement Award. At the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to my extended family, my home institution, several patients and families who have visited me, and of course, countless number of members of the community of medical education and above all, MU India. For this wonderful opportunity to share journey from being a professional to an academic leader. I truly believe that you have to be first a professional before you become an academic leader. This journey of mine, I'll be describing my experiences becoming and doing the work of a physician and academic leader. It is a journey of transformation through multiple personal and professional identities, from being a physician to educational leader. And as always, there have been challenges and enabling factors in this transformation. Let me first of all express my regards to Professor Rita Sood. Though I first met her at CMCL during my fellowship, I again met her at NCME 2007 at AIMS New Delhi, and she came across as a person with immense elegance, energy, and intellect. Subsequently, I have had the privilege of meeting her on a number of occasions at a number of NCMEs and international conferences of Sirame, and also during the leadership for change at Karolinska Institute, Sweden. I am truly indebted to her for all the interaction that I've had. My hometown and Karma Bhumi, of course, is Karamsat, and it is. I am truly grateful that I have heard stories of visionaries of this land, beginning from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to Bhai Kaka, who was instrumental in creating an educational town of Vallabh Vidyanagar, Tribhuvan Das, who was responsible and true face of the cooperative movement of Milk Marketing Federation and Amul at Anand. And of course, our founder, chairman, late Dr. H.M. Patel, once a finance minister in the Janta ministry and a visionary who was responsible for division of assets between India and Pakistan. They were truly visionary. So, as I said, this is a journey of transformation of my several personal and professional identities. And it is necessary for me to say that who I was and where I came from has had significant impact on what I have become today, an educational leader. Early upbringing at Ahmedabad and for 2 years in Anand, which is my hometown, instilled in me importance of family, higher education, hard work, conscientiousness, and being yourself. Being yourself was something that was close to my heart. These are my several personal identities that I had before entry to medical college and subsequently. And I was fortunate to have pure and innocent parent, though my mother suffered from depression. My father was a simple gentleman. I had been a nephew to affectionate uncle and aunt, brother to two siblings from whom I got isolated in my early 20s because they migrated to North America. I was cousin to 7 paternal cousins. All of them were erudite because although close to anywhere between 8 to 24 years elder to me, they had higher education in Vallabh Vidyanagar and they were all erudite. I had the fortune of reading English language magazine early in my childhood. And it was one of my cousins who used to be a teacher in the school where I studied. She brought Mahabharata, Gita, Ramayana, which I read at a very early age, which was when I was in standard 2 and 3. I was fortunate to have friends who were very supportive, particularly during my tumultuous year in MBBS, where I struggled with my mother's depression. Of course, I'm husband to a teacher and a homemaker who's very caring. Very important in this interaction that I had with my close ones were conversation with my cousin who still lives with me. He's a widower, a retired professor of public administration. I've had the privilege of understanding managerial leadership from him. I have several nicknames also through my journey. I don't know why, but I was nicknamed doctor when I was an urchin playing in a society where I lived in Ahmedabad. And I had not just peers as friends, but college going students, one of who later on became a medical teacher to me when I entered MBBS. My family helped me to undergo both scholastic and non-scholastic performances during my studies, particularly cricket. And I was given a nickname of CC, which is cricket captain, during my college cricket team. And I had the privilege of leading one of the finest cricket team that medical college had. And as I entered Karamsad, sometime down the line, I got the nickname of professor. Unlike present day students, I had foundation of 1 year after pre-science. It was 11 plus 1 plus 1. That the second year was pre-medical. So I consider truly as a foundation year of almost 1 year, where I honed my proficiency in English and skills to navigate journey to medical education. My early lessons in leadership came at the time when I was captain of the college cricket team. And it is at this time that I understood that if you want to motivate your team members, you have to have credibility. And that credibility is by your own performance. And subsequently, I understood that to have ethos, which is credibility, you have to be on top of your discipline. My alma mater, NHL Municipal Medical College, was a unique institution in the sense that at that time, all my teachers were honorary, except for one uh, throughout my journey of 4 years. It was a 4-year residency program. I learned clinical acumen, and unlike in the parent days where we have introduced ATCOM, I learned professional behavior from this uh, excellent clinical teacher. It was all implicit, but this is something that all of us learned, particularly in clinical setting. My Karma Bhumi, Pramukh Swami Medical College, is a venture of faith, and it is an institution which believes in swimming against the tide. It was a chance that I migrated immediately after my MD, after coming back from Toronto. I had a immigration, but I decided to stay back in India. It so happened that my personal values align with the institutional values. I believe in timeless human values like honesty, integrity, growth of others. It is here that I learned lessons in leadership and management by taking several additional responsibility, and that is where my learning and growth as both manager and leader happened. And I understood that experience is truly a good teacher. Somewhere around 2008, I had the privilege of undergoing an exercise of collective uh, vision drafting. This was based on the conceptual framework of Collins and Porras, who is, a Harvard professor, and he has written several bestsellers. Building Your Company's Vision is one of the articles which describe the conceptual framework. But Good to Great is one particular book that he has written, which I have cherished. We had a discovered values. We also drafted our core purpose. And our vision was to be an example of what the profession of medicine has to be. And at that time, CMC Vellore and Mayo Clinic was our role model. To tell you brief in this conceptual framework, it's a collective vision. Core ideology is core, and vision future, something which can change, is non-core. Core ideology can never change, and vision future is open to change. Core ideology is sacred, and vision future is not sacred. And this is something, depending upon the context, you need to change, and hence your strategy. So, preserve the core, stimulate progress was the motto at that time and subsequently. My professional identities, the journey started when I became a clinical educator in 1988 at Karamsad. So it's an association of 35 years. And one of the most important events which happened in my life is in 2006, I had a chance meeting with Narayan Murthy at IIM Ahmedabad, where I was attending one day seminar on excellence in education, higher education, including medicine, management, law, etc. I had a conversation with him, which lasted for about 5-10 minutes, and that is where I got the stimulus to pursue medical education as a discipline. Very early on, I avoided teaching the way I was taught by some of my teachers. And later on, I started using theories of learning to optimize my learning. It is sometime in the early part of 21st century that I got associated with Rotary through the local Rotary Club, and I had the opportunity of several leadership roles at local and district level. It is here that I learned mentoring, leadership, networking, and of course, project management through several service projects. See, it is here that I learned the strategy of adult learning through one seminar of one day. Some of you may not be knowing, but Rotary is a 100-year organization, it's a voluntary service organization which has survived almost more than a century. It has wonderful resources for developing leadership. So, learning from any circumstances is useful and for future basis. My lessons in leadership, change management, and networking came through my association with several fellows and faculty of CMCL, famous regional institute. So I'm indebted to all those faculty, my fellow colleagues. Sometime later, after my fellowship, of course, I continued to expand my knowledge and skill base in the domain of medical education. I had a chance meeting with Avinash, although I have had several opportunities earlier to meet Avinash. I met him at SMIMER, Surat, during one Platinum Jubilee program at SMIMER. It is here that he hinted to me that, Himanshu, why don't you ask your dean to apply for becoming a regional center? I came back and immediately said that, why don't we do that? And it was in 2010 that we became a regional center. I was not fortunate to have continuous advising and a true mentor, but I can tell you that such fleeting conversations which I have had throughout my career have made immense impact in my learning and growth. I had the opportunity to meet Rita Sood once again abroad, and that was at Stockholm, Sweden, when I was attending a seminar called Leading for Change in Health Profession Education. She was a resource faculty, I was a fellow, and here she came out to me as a very simple person with a lot of eloquence, presence, and compassion. I cannot forget one particular incident when I was traveling with her on a steamboat, and we entered one small island, and for a moment I was wondering where I am. She immediately realized and she asked me, Himanshu, it appears that you are somewhat confused. I said, yes. I thought we have come back to where we were. He said, no, this is different. So that was her presence and compassion. I became convener of the regional center in 2010 and continued to be regional center's convener till 2016 when I relinquished that position. During those 6 years, I was fortunate to be part of several initiatives under National Faculty Development Program initiated by Medical Council of India and particularly the Board of Governors in Super Session of Medical Council of India. And I had once again opportunity to meet many resource faculty, many medical teachers, and countless interactions with them, which were truly lessons in leadership and networking with medical educators. My lessons in organizational capacities came from two consultations. One was National Consultation for Reforms in Medical Education in 2011, and subsequently National Consultation for Professionalism in Health Profession Education in 2013. And of course, National Conference for Health Profession Education in 2016. One thing leads to another, and I had the opportunity to be jury at BMJ Award in 2014. You can see here one of our colleague, Payal, and with us are Professor Venu Nair, Dean of AFMC Pune, and of course, Chief Editor of BMJ. And this is where I learned from work of others, and of course, the incisive question which came from jury. I took up Masters in Health Profession Education sometime in 2013. It was here that I developed the ability to analyze and criticize good teaching practices and understood whether to apply them in my own context. And though I had started the journey for full master's, circumstances prevented me from completing it, and I had to stop at the diploma level in health profession education. But I was fortunate that several of my co-participants told me that they learned a lot from my interactions on the forum. In fact, Professor John Nersini, President CEO, once remarked that Himanshu can become a resource faculty on this forum. And that was a truly a remarkable comment. Lot of encouragement. Lot of my lessons in management and leadership came from my Karma Bhumi, the medical college. Between 2004 to 2018, I was fortunate to be part of several off-site visits where we debated on several issues, including SWOT analysis, roadmap for 10 years. We, in fact, visited that book which I am talking about from Collins, Good to Great. Also, professionalism, best practices, and decision making, crucial conversation, creating happiness, managing stress. I must, at this stage, express my gratitude to our former CEO, Mr. Sandeep Desai. He had a chartered accountant background, but also management diploma from Indian Institute of Rural Management at Anand. He started his journey at Karamsad somewhere in 2000, and he retired 1 year back. But although he was a non-medico, he understood medicine pretty well, and a lot of lessons in leadership and management that I learned from him. I will fail in my duty if I do not acknowledge that some of the initial initiatives in medical education came from him and were driven by him, including integrated teaching, even before Medical Council of India started this initiative of MCI vision document. And that is evident from one of our earliest paper, which was co-authored with Sarmista Ghosh on BMC medical education. There are challenges and there are this problems that I can see in, or even crisis of leadership. And there are several reasons for this. Some of us have competing responsibilities and try to, shy away from leadership responsibility. Some of us consider individual accomplishment as more important than collective success. Autonomy more than collaboration. For once, I can say that there is no structure, leadership and management training till we had this fellowship from framework. Of course, lack of time allocation for education and training, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level. And leadership is not in medicine or in academic medicine is not recognized as a specialty. I cannot but submit that one of the problem is the prescriptive model of regulation by erstwhile MCI and the present National Medical Commission. In fact, somewhere around April 2019, I was the only representative at WFME conference at Seoul, and I presented a paper titled Does replacement of MCI with NMC make sense? Rest is something that it is for your imagination. I am not very comfortable with uniform and exhaustive input and process standards, both by MCI and NMC. Of course, there is no climate of internally driven continuous quality improvement. And the most important problem that I see is lack of congruence between espoused value and values in actions by regulatory body. However, there are medical schools in India whose performance is recognized as world class. If they are world class and they are high performing institution in spite of being judged against uniform standards, they are guided by their own aspirations and values. And we are trying to be one. The question is, how does one become an effective teacher? Now, there are several models and frameworks, like there are frameworks in medical education, and this is one framework which is a Dutch approach, which is me, others, and society. I will not go into detail because some of the other slides will tell the story. Several methods are there. You attend leadership courses, you get mentored, you learn from action learning, you learn from seminars, you learn from self-directed learning, you get feedback, multi-source, you get assignment, you get coaching, you learn from network and experiential learning. For me, most of learning to be an academic leader is experiential and self-directed. Of course, I was associated with some truly visionary leaders too. And if you look at the topics, as far as educational topics are concerned, all of you are aware about it. I need not go into the details, but if you look at the other side, the leadership topics, balance, budgeting, building community practice, career development, succession planning, change management, communication, negotiation, conflict management, emotional intelligence. The list is greater than the educational topics. Ethics, healthcare quality, leadership opportunities, leadership style, management, mission, vision, project management, strategic thinking, and team building. I had several opportunities to do many of these things, and some of the most difficult things which probably leaders need to learn is first, effective communication, negotiation, conflict management, emotional intelligence. Of course, there are several leader styles, and I will allude to one of them. I also, as I alluded to, I had the opportunity to frame collective mission and vision statement, which exercise we have repeated for our university recently. Emotional intelligence appears to be the most important leadership skill. And this is one slide which is very important slide. To be an academic and to be a leader, what are the different skills? There are different skill set for being a leader. Whereas for an academic leader, you need to be an intellectual. And for leader, you need to be emotionally intelligent. Narrow knowledge base to be an academic, broad range of interest to be a leader, strong work ethic for both. You have to be highly motivated self, and to be a leader, you have to be highly institution motivated. You need to get your own results, but as a leader, you need to get institutional results. You rise up in the academic leader, and in our country, it is, as you know, there are these several criteria. But as a leader, you need to manage all around. A couple of words regarding emotional intelligence, and the discussion on emotional intelligence versus intelligence or IQ came from Goldman first, and he has described these competencies, which are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, drive, empathy, and social skills. But one of the books that I have frequently referred to in my journey as an academic leader over the last 4.5 years is Learning to Lead in an Academic Medical Center. And they suggest that listening is the most important skill that a leader needs to acquire. Of course, other-centeredness, which is part of being empathetic. And your demeanor, how you look to others, how others view you, and which is something which comes from self-awareness and self-regulation. I have come across several leadership styles, and I know that you don't just practice one style. The style that you practice depends upon the circumstance and context. But one particular leadership style which has kind of intrigued me and impressed me is by a psychiatrist who has become a Harvard professor of business management called Ronald Hafiz, whose work I first came to know somewhere around 2008 when I attended what Harvard SRMC faculty development program at SRMC. You have to get on the balcony, meaning that you have to, reflect as to what is going on. You have to identify the adaptive challenge. An adaptive challenge is nothing but changing the habits of people. And as all of you might know, change requires change in habits, and it is change in habit which is very painful. And I can tell you that if you end up trying to put various kinds of changes, and if you happen to, introduce strategic change, which is change in philosophy, you will have problems. Leadership is a dangerous business, and whereas you might create some distress, you need to learn to regulate distress also. You have to be mindful and you have to maintain discipline attention of what is going on around. But most importantly, you don't have to do the work of changing habits. It is the followers who need to go back and do the work of changing their habits. And above all, the voices of the leadership have to be respected. You have to believe in distributed leadership. Some takeaways. You need to recognize the difference between formal and informal organization. The formal organization is the traditional hierarchy of medical superintendent, dean, and heads of the department. Depending upon the context, the hierarchy. These are the position, these are bestowed. But informal organization is people who do not have clear-cut position, but their voice matters. They are opinion leaders. You have to be mindful of their opinion. And you have to learn the culture, both spoken and unspoken. Most importantly, whereas authority is bestowed, authority needs to be earned when approved by informal organization and then distributed, meaning that by everybody has to be, heard, consulted. I have found it very difficult, but I have tried to managing different kind of personality problems at workplace. It is when you become a dean, you come to know this, right? So in a sense, even if you don't know how to manage budget, you should know and become an anthropologist. Some more takeaways. You need to get started if you are going to begin your work as a leader. Make sure that you listen, you greet and meet, you know the culture. Develop all the skills of negotiation, interview skills for recruitment, conflict resolution, persuasion, running a meeting. This is very important. When you run a meeting, it is important to arrive at decision, and the resolution has to say who will be responsible for what by what time. Making a good decision is something that you need to do. And if you go back to my earlier slide of adaptive leadership, if you at all want to stimulate change, you need to regulate distress, and you have to come out unharmed, and that is without coup. We are, well on time. I said that a lot of my learnings have been through experiences. Experiences have been a truly great teacher for me. This was one comment and a response from Professor Janet Grant to one of the reflective writing that I sent across to her. And that reflective writing was simulated by one simple question which was thrown by her to me just before Professor George Matthews, the then Dean of CMC Vellore, was about to deliver the ultimate lecture. This was around the NCHP. So those of you who attended NCHP organized by Rasmi Vyas would know that Professor George Matthews retired just around that time. And I was sitting by the side of John Narsini and Janet Grant. And Janet told me that in some of your communication, it seems that you have some idea of management. And I wrote her a long, almost 1 page or 1.5 page reflective writing. These are her words. Brilliant story. Of course, this was 2011. It really shows that a combination of theory and practice are key to development, with practice coming first. But you also had the interest and vision. And it is often the combination of these things, practice, theory, and the person. That is me. That makes such things work. Thank you. I cannot agree more with Janet. I agreed with her then, and I agree with her even today. Almost 12 years since she wrote this note to me. She had other comments throughout that reflective writing, which I have cherished to this day. My journey of becoming a leader, being a leader, stops here. My story, I have to say that united we stand tall. I hope when you come to Gujarat, all of you visit Statue of Unity. It's a true marvel. And when I visited with my spouse and my cousin, sometime in November 22. I was truly, proud about what we are as a nation. Although we have had a lot of challenges. Challenges all around, challenges in medical education, right? Even now, with change in regulatory body, we continue to have challenges. Every other day, we are reading different guidelines and dictates. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanjay Bedi, Dr. Tejinder Singh, all of you on MOU for giving me this opportunity. I truly indebted to you for this wonderful opportunity. I'm sure, like me, others would have learned their lessons through experiences, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Himanshu, for sharing with us your eventful journey. And I'm sure there would be lessons for everybody. It's not that we can reproduce somebody else's style and somebody else's journey, but
Right.
surely we can pick up a lot of things from what others have been through and then probably not go through the same situations again and chart out a path for ourselves. So thank
And
you very much
yeah,
once again.
Yeah.
And I'll now request Dr. Sanjay Bedi to please award the oration certificate and lifetime achievement award to Dr. Himanshu Pandya.
Before Sanjay says something, since this is in the memory of Rita Sood, I must tell the uh, faculty who are here today that MEU was something which was the genesis was through that NCME in 2007, wherein I was part of that NCME. So that was one of the landmark event in the history of medical education. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are highly honored in delivering the Lifetime Achievement Award to you, sir, on behalf of the entire network of MEU. We are very happy. And also, we confer this Rita Sood Memorial Oration Award to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Tejinder. Thank you, Sucheta, and all my colleagues, Nirma, for this wonderful opportunity. It is not just an honor for me, but it is an honor for my home institution, honor for those who have touched me throughout my journey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for an enlightenment talk. It will motivate all of us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now, friends, we end this session.
Sanjay, thank you and good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you.